and welcome to the Velkyn Weave, where a bunch of us nerdy artists, analysts, engineers, writers, nurses, and performers get together and play Dungeons and Dragons. It's an exciting day here in the United States. It's Inauguration Day, a day in which democracy has prevailed, and we're excited to move forward here on this channel, the Games Tavern. If this is your first time watching us, welcome. Don't forget to follow the Games Tavern on Twitch. It's free. It supports the show and all the cast and crew. Remember, you can watch us live on Twitch, which you're doing now, but all shows will be uploaded to YouTube within the 48 hours of broadcast. You can catch up on all the shows that you've missed. And you might want to catch up on some of that Velkyn Weave action, because we're a pretty great bunch. Before we get rolling into the game, let's have some announcements. Josh, take it away.
Thanks, Grant. And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription, which you can use to show your support to the show, cast, and crew. Prime Gaming subscribers get access to more emotes and to special subscriber-only Discord channels.
Big thanks to tabletopaudio.com for providing music, ambiance, and sound effects for the Games Tavern live play shows. You can use Tabletop Audio in your own campaigns by going to tabletopaudio.com and choosing from over 230 audio and ambiance tracks. Or if you need something custom, check out the sound pad and options to create your own custom sound pad. We think so highly of tabletopaudio.com. We are supporters, and so should you.
I believe, without further ado, let's get into the game. When last we left our intrepid heroes, it was about a month ago, IRL in real time, so it's been a little while since we've got to see the Velkyn Weave. They traveled into the Blackfin Swamp. They were met with resistance at a roadside blockade. They engaged in direct combat with an army of hobgoblins that was walling off access to the roads to the north. And while overcoming adversity and venturing into the rain-filled swamps, they learned that the forces of the Red Hand Horde, which are led by Azar Kul, the leader of the army. Sorry, I see that. Sorry, in our chat here. They acquired a new ally in the defeat of those hobgoblins, Rasputin, the ogre, who now travels with them. He's something of a load. They found in the Blackfin Swamp that through dark magics, the hobgoblins have been breeding spawn of Tiamat, dragon devils, large and lethal. Are these dragon fiends too much for the Velkyn Weave to overcome? No! They prove their worth by besting one in combat. But was it a fully developed spawn, or yet one still in an infant state? Time will tell. They met some allies, the Star Singer elves, of which they were trying to recruit to aid them in the fight against the Red Hand Horde. And they discovered that one of the elves' allies had been slain, and they have accompanied the elves to their settlement of Starsong Hill. Traveling through their own shape-changing methods and acquiring feathers to take flight. And they created a pretty cool hammock to set the ogre in and fly him through. He didn't hit too many trees along the way. Now, as usual here with the Velkyn Weave, we'd like to give the players an opportunity to earn a point of inspiration to aid them throughout the session. And by doing so, they give a character monologue. And so tonight's monologue prompt is, what the elves have taught me and what it means to me. This can be elves they met in the past. It can be elves that they're traveling with. It can be party members, but it's up to their own interpretation. So what we'll do is we will go Quentin, Bope, Rinian, Eldon, Doliris.
So Quentin grew up with dark elves in the Underdark, and what he learned is that they are completely wrapped up in themselves and see themselves first. And he's really taken that to heart, and he sees himself. He looks out for number one. So lesson learned. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
So not a lot of elves would stop by my village of Turin Peppers, but when they did, we got along just fine, and the things I learned the most. It's always a two-way street. There was an old elf named Grellivier. He showed me some good carrot stew that I could make. Oh, so delicious! And I returned the favor with my favorite acorn chutney. Oh, that'll really knock out an old tooth.
For Rinian, elves are a weird one. Growing up with the dwarves and their understanding of the elves basically as these kind of more aloof and distant individuals, Rinian never really got a chance to work much with them, just given his efforts and how he grew up with the Dwarven Alchemy team. Though he did have a really good and the most impactful presence upon him was in an early adventure in his life, starting in Neverwinter. There was a half elf that gave the rest of this kind a good term, or at least in Brynion's heart. Beyond that, there's just not enough information for him to make a good judgment.
Well, I haven't known a lot of elves besides, I guess, Quentin before. Not much lived in the hills. Didn't really encounter too many till I started traveling with these folks, and if I did meet any, it was for a pretty short period of time. They're a lot different than Quentin, but right now all I can think about is I can fly now. Oh my god, this is amazing! I wonder if it was the elves. Huh. All right.
So I've actually learned two separate lessons, opposed lessons, you might say, from the elves that I've known. First is my best friend who's actually taking care of the children while I'm away from Waterdeep. And they did their darndest to teach me to, let people in and make friends, and, there's nothing that a good communal meal can't solve. But also from the Drow and from the Starsong elves, I've learned that you can never be too secluded and paranoid.
Well, everyone take a point of inspiration. And now let's join our adventure midstream. You have arrived at Starsong Hill. The elves flew on their giant owls. You have used a combination of owls and transforming your own selves. The community seems vibrant. There is song. There is what appears to be hard work going on. And you are brought as you land. Kiliar, who is the name of the lead hunter that you met in the wild. An interesting name, Kiliar. He brings you before in an elf that looks like she has seen many winters. She has long gray and silver hair. She stands with perfect posture, her feet together, as if she was expecting the arrival. But she seems confused by the sight of your group arriving with the elves. They speak in an elvish dialect. It's sort of a variation of High Elvish, and which is interesting, seeing how they live here in the swamp. And she looks quizzically at the group. What do you do?
Point of order. Was she expecting us, or is she expecting? There was a pause
She
there.
wasn't expecting you.
Okay.
She's with child. Hand motions.
We're expecting a baby. It could be a raptor, but we're expecting
Listen, you heard it. We're trying to combat spawn of Tiamat with spawn of elves. And I broke the campaign. No, she's not expecting a child, but she wasn't expecting you all either. And she's dressed, flowing, not glowing, golden and green robes. Her hair just flows longly. It is quite straight. And she kind of looks. This is an interesting group that has come to Starsong Hill. They have not seen outsiders for many seasons, let alone such a distinguished-looking group of adventurers.
And Kiliar is still with us, or?
Yeah, he led, and he kind of spoke quickly, and you can tell she was trying to get more information out of him, and he almost like impatiently just motioned, and then started taking off to deeper into the village.
In formal Elvish, I'll say to her, the strands of fate have brought the Velkyn Weave to your doorstep.
She asks if you are a member of a royal court of some sort. She just hasn't heard formal Elvish in a while, and so she's like, is this like a prince or something? What are they doing in the swamp?
Is this in Elvish as well?
Yes.
I'll translate for everyone. She's asking if we're royalty.
It depends. It's the Emerald
Are
Mountain
we,
Cave
Quentin?
royalty.
As a matter of fact, we are rulers at Vrath Keep.
Fair. She explains she is familiar with the location. She asked, by what manner did you acquire the keep?
Keep what you kill.
That's what I say. You keep what you kill.
She kind of she gives kind of like a smile, as if she you've told her a funny joke, and she nods approvingly. And
I assure you, the paperwork is in order.
Bloodstained, but orderly.
She's not an auditor. However, she asks, by what way did you come in? And yeah, she speaks to you, and then, by what way, good elf, did you come into a meeting with Kiliar and were granted audience here? Surely he would not disclose our location wantonly.
We slew the Tiamat spawn that killed one of your own, and I believe we have a mutual enemy in the Red Hand.
And she goes, yes, it has been unsafe to brave the swamp. This past season, they have become more brazen. And she seems confused at Tiamat spawn. She explains, she goes, could you describe it to me? She's vaguely familiar with Tiamat, but she's not too sure of what sort of creature.
I pass on a description of the half-demon, half-dragon-esque spawn that we fought in the swamp.
This seems to shake her a little. It is worse than I feared, she said. That would explain why many of our hunters have not returned.
Mm-hmm. And we came seeking you as a possible ally in the fight against the Red Hand. We understand the lizard folk, your enemies, have sided with the Red Hand?
She says, yes. The scaleskins who live here in the swamp have made it very difficult to protect our homes. It would be difficult for us to assist you when our homes are under such a dire threat day to day. We feel as if we are being suffocated little by little.
Well, one must protect their home first and foremost. I understand. Perhaps we can help you with that problem.
She thinks about it. In what way would you serve us, the Starsong Elves, that we might aid you in the fight against the Red Hand?
Convince these scaleskins that their choice to side with the Red Hand was the wrong one.
Will you convince them with blades or the sword? And she says that, she kind of looks over at Rinian.
I would try the open hand first, and if that doesn't work, the closed fist.
Bope just holds up an old gnarled hand, clenched in a fist.
She nods. She says, "This we must consider. I discuss all matters with those that side here. We appreciate the offer. There are other elves that we could muster to aid you, but first we must cleanse the swamp." And at that point, out of a pool that's by her, almost like a puddle, you see a pair of eyes and a long snout, a big, almost smiling jaw open as an enormous, just crocodile comes up out of the water, and she kind of sits on its side saddle.
Look out, Hydra! Behind you!
Is she a swamp druid?
Well, she's a
people.
swamp elf. That's her pet.
That's adorable.
So currently, Starsong Hill is yours to explore. A few things will happen here for sure. So, and there are a number of locations here that can be visited. So this is an entire community of elves. She's going to ponder, and she's thinking about, just so you know, just transparency, she's going to be thinking about the people she needs to talk to and what persuasive argument she could give to, let's take up arms, aid those that live outside the swamp. And then she's also thinking about what they can do to aid you in the fight against Wormlord Sarvith and his domain, because he is powerful and cunning, perhaps the most cunning of the Wormlords.
Hence why he was sent here, of course, to hold down an entire elven community.
What do you guys think about sharing the copy of the map, which is now slightly dated with the elves, showing the Red Hand's intent?
I don't see why not.
Show of good faith.
I agree.
Madam, some intelligence for you that may prove persuasive. And I'll hand her the map that we recovered.
She takes a look at it, and she says, "It looks like they're staying out of the swamp for the most part. Why would they be here if their battle plan is to avoid it?"
Well, madam, I think it's quite obvious they're not avoiding the swamp. They've taken residence here, but this is the invasion plan of the human lands to the south. And it is, as you can see, planned out pretty thoroughly. They are looking forward. I imagine we'd probably find similar plans with the Wormlord occupying the swamp here.
If you look, you can see that it is obvious that they are pinning you in place in this location while they sweep this land before they then are able to muster their entire force for a final push through to wipe your lands.
She considers it. She goes, "They have not been so brazen to attack our elvish hills directly, but I could see that perhaps as a reward for their allyship, they assist the lizard folk in driving us from our homes."
Were your people and lizard folk ever allies before the Red Hand arrived?
She says, "We were agreeable neighbors."
Changed.
Fair enough. I think you rival the dragon worshippers.
Oh, she thinks about it. She goes, "We did hear reports. Something of a new god, a new faith rising up among them."
Sure, just a couple of years ago, they were, another dragon cult.
Was it a dragon religion that they started worshiping?
They speak of a dragon god made flesh. Or so I've heard rumors. There's others here that are more acquainted with the tall tales than me. I typically manage the day-to-day. You would need to seek out Trilara. She would know the tales. She is a storyteller.
I think we need to speak with her.
Like vital intelligence.
Because also, no group is a
Monolith.
Yes, thank you. No group is a monolithic force. So I'm certain there are some lizard folk who did not want to follow this god, and perhaps they can be persuaded to help.
Gonna say no group is monogamous. Just look at those hobgoblins.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. That's not the word I wanted anyway.
I got you. Yeah. No group is a monogamous. Yeah.
Some of them are polycules.
I'm sorry. What was her name again? I missed it.
Trelara Night Shadow.
Oh, who are we speaking to? I don't believe we got your name.
My name is Celerius Starsinger.
Celerius.
Celeria. And she does know that there can be tense feelings between the lizard folk and the elves. There was a long war between them for a while, but it ended in peace. However, recently, it has been tough. It has been tough.
What was the war about?
Largely territorial. The lizards wanted to get, for them it was almost like a sign of worship. They had to strive for dominance, and they had to demonstrate to their god that they could dominate. However, they weren't used to our more sophisticated tactics in combat, nor were they prepared for our magics.
I forget, did Deed and Tobias come with us? And if so, how are they reacting to the lizard folk?
How are the elves reacting to Deet and Tobias?
Yeah.
Deet and Tobias, heads come up out of the pond. They go, you know what? You want to know what we think about why the lizards fought the elves? She kind of narrows her eyes and squints at them.
They're with us.
Unrelated to the...
They follow Timora.
Neighbors.
Lizards gotta eat. You were just another creature in the swamp. They high-five each other. And she just kind of gives like a sour, like, maybe?
I don't know
we
if that
elves
was...
like to ascribe a much higher meaning to every incident. You know, it was an army, there was a war, and they were like, it was a buffet that was laid out. You were catering. Craft services brought a buffet of elves. And she seems kind of amused by this, too. And she's like, you have wise companions, and their perspective is most valued.
Yes.
I've often thought that about their perspective. It being quite different than ones we often hear.
How do we know they're not spies? She says, tongue in cheek. You can tell she's trying to get them on side. They're like, we're not spies. We would never deceive the living saint on the earth, Dolirus. And then they like drop prostrate to the ground.
Oh God, I told you guys to stop doing that.
She chuckles at that. She's like, goodness gracious.
You said it. Goodness gracious.
I'll hand Celeria one of the pamphlets on Timora, in case you need some light reading.
She nods, and she says, so she will be preparing to discuss with the council. If you are looking for resources, Kiliar might be able to assist you. But our home is your home now. Please be mindful of the owl nests. They get a little... the owls get frisky. If you'd like
Defensive of their nests, understandable, yes.
If you are in need of a blessing, there is a temple of Corellin that you could visit. And if you are looking for the High Singer, she typically can be found amongst the people of the village. She would be at the central gathering place.
Is there any other information you need from us that would be useful in council? Anything we can provide to you?
She says, if you could give us a timeline for which the swamps would be safe, that would give us a timeline to know how how quickly to rally the elves, that we might join a defense. Because we only number about 500 here, but there are at least tenfold throughout the region. It would take some time to muster them, and it would take some convincing.
Well,
We'd have to call upon the old ally ships.
I would have to say we need to know more about the Wormlord's forces here. We're new to the swamp, and while we've slain one of their fiendish dragon beasts, that's our first exposure to them here.
We need information.
Is almost as much as you do, ma'am. But I'd say maybe a little bit more for us to act.
I know that there are 6 tribes. Think of them as large families.
Of the lizard folk?
Yes. Those large families have been congregating near the sunken city, the ruins of rest. You notice as she's speaking, the rain is starting to come down harder and harder. You knew there was a potential of like torrential monsoons on the horizon, and she almost seems to be agitated by the rain at this point. And she says, "There they have gathered. We have not gotten too close, for the lizards have formed a perimeter. We did send one of our scouts to advance, Lanakar, but he did not return."
Say this as if they are mustered for war.
Maybe it's some sort of conclave, like of religious significance. We talked about a new god, if they're all gathering in one place. But it could be for warfare purposes as well.
Make anyone with the highest stat to make investigation can do it with advantage because you're a group.
I have a +5.
I have +8.
All right, then.
Hope it is.
That's a natural 20.
So
28.
Aha. I take out my
Critical
magnifying
success.
glass.
Your brain explodes at the inside as the universe. You see forever a decadent alien king infest your mind, and the sweet delights of Carcosa is yours forever.
Switch to Call Cthulhu. Damn. Okay.
So essentially, no, with that, you put it together. Your feeling is that the lizards are attempting to hide the hobgoblin's devilry in rest, and most likely they are responsible for and you sort of look down at your sign of Tiamat that you have, that you stole from a priest. They're hatching fiends there. They are creating dragon spawn. They have means of doing it.
Evil is afoot. I share that with the group.
You think they're possibly like gathering all their allied forces as some sort of buffer for whatever devilry they're engaging with? That would possibly suggest that whatever acts they're enacting are fragile in nature and could be susceptible to disruption.
We are disruptors.
I would prefer to make them allies rather than simply just stopping them if possible. To do that, we need to be able to offer them something better than what the Red Hand is doing. And also, ideally, change their religion away from Tiamat.
That's a pretty wild swing there.
Yeah.
The lizards do not worship Tiamat, she says.
Oh, that's not their god?
We should speak to Trilara, you
Yeah.
said, right? Who knows more about the rumors of their
Yes.
newfound god or goddess? Yeah.
Could also be, not perhaps a conscious thing, but a influence subtly that is making them change.
Maybe so.
Well, that's why we need information so we know what we have to work with. But ideally, I would like them to be like secret turncoats, and like maybe they turn their fiendish dragon creations against the Red Hand.
I don't know if they're organized enough for us to turn an entire group.
6 tribes. Maybe one's in charge of the hatchery or whatever they call it. But
If any of them even know what's going on.
Celeria, thank you for the hospitality. Might I offer my Sprout to accompany you in case you have any questions you need asked of us? He can relay it to me, and we can respond in kind.
Sprout comes waddling out the back. Seems like he's fixing whatever shorts he's wearing today. Hey! And then he's just like, sorry. Was making steam, dropping a deuce. No, poop joke already. Yeah, just like,
Hey, you've made it half an hour. Good job.
I tell you, this Star Singer corned beef hash goes right through you. I apologize, milady. Your
They
Highness.
have corned beef hash.
If they don't, I don't know what it was I was eating. Jesus. Then he's just like, I've made a heck of an impression. Hello, lady. And she looks down at him.
I'm just looking at Quentin.
I'm giving him the, like, zip it.
The international
Oh,
sign for less
zipper's
is more.
down, and he zips up his fly. And then, like, she's just like, oh. Thanks.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah. Thanks for keeping an eye on me. Didn't want to humiliate myself in front of, like, the leader of the elves or anything.
No, that would just be the end of the world.
Terrible.
It's a good thing you carry yourself with such grace.
She
and
appreciates it,
comportment.
and she says I will discuss with him and learn all about your ways and your exploits. Oh yeah, I'll give you the good parts version. There he was, Quentin Stargazer, toe to toe with the green dragon Otherindian. He blew up the bridge himself, and the rest of the weave was clapping away. Clapping, kind of looks over and sees Eldon. Okay, maybe I got it wrong. My recollection's not so good. So Eldon over there, he blew up the bridge and went toe-to-toe with the dragon. The Lear, she came in on a flying carpet. Meanwhile, Rinian was going toe-to-toe with, like, the Black Knight or something like that, and, like, his toad, like, squire. And Bope made a fireball, and, like, with that, he, like, does, like, a little fire-breathing thing and blows a little fume. She seems very amused by this, by the way. She's like, they've done a lot. Leaders of Wrath Creep, they finangled a deal out of a blacksmith. They are acquiring a collection of bizarre personages, and he raises his hand at Rasputin, who, like, tips a bowler cap he now wears. Hey. Yeah, and Sprout's just like,
I don't remember him wearing that.
I made it for him out of an old Beanie Baby. Don't ask what they are. And then, like, and he's just like, so as you can see, they're excellent people. You should trust them. She's like, I already trust them. And Sprout will accompany her. You'll have eyes and ears on her.
Yes.
That's gonna have no repercussions whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
Quick, we should leave before we hear more.
Yeah. Let's find that lady.
Trilara.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you search for Trilara, she is down, and she is currently giving harp lessons to a group of elves, and they are playing. They seem to almost be rehearsing for a special event.
Not what I would have expected in the swamp, but nonetheless a good modicum of society. to see.
There's music, no matter where you live.
Yes.
They're fancy metal harps. Yeah,
You're not judging them because they live in a swamp, are you, Renyan?
mouth harp. Bring,
Still elves. you know?
I am, but
Shame on all of you. Except for you, Eldon. Eldon's a good boy.
as we're traversing Starsong Hill here, I'm keeping an eye out. I've got like the businessman thing going on, looking for the old magic item shop. You know, we got this rapier we picked up that I would like to convert into a dagger for Delirus, but that's just my side my mind working as we walk.
If Trilara is giving a harp lesson, I would prefer to patiently wait than interrupt.
Yeah.
Being the polite, good old boy that I am.
If anyone would like to make a religion check, it will reveal the cultural significance or history.
I'm supposed to be good at religion.
How's that working out for you?
Well, I'll tell you. 11.
There's a few that think you're a saint on earth, so it can't be all bad.
And if she's doing that, I will do history, where I got a 19.
All right. Religion, you know that this is music that will be performed at a ritual of some sort. Your history, Rinian, do you speak Elvish? No? It's okay if you don't.
No.
It's similar to, like, maybe you've heard a song in a different language that you don't necessarily understand, but the words are kind of familiar. It's like Jose Feliciano or something like that. Que sera, que sera. You notice, but this song has historical significance among peoples. It is a funeral song that they play for the fallen. And you start to notice that
A dirge, if you will.
a dirge, and this is despite its like hauntingly melodic quality, and it's sort of like otherworldly, and it's a very beautiful piece of music. It is sad. It's like one of Mozart's requiems, and like so, it's the inclination you get is the person who they're performing the funeral for is someone very close to her, which is making it hard for her to teach the performance.
Maybe the kid who died that we rescued from the guts of the demon.
They said that several have
Strong
not
word.
returned, so it could be that. It could be many. Did the elf take the item that we retrieved? Yes.
Kiliar. Yeah, I assume
The
he did.
black stones and gold.
He did take it, but he could confirm that it was in fact Lanakar's. As you approach, she kind of sees, and she invites you all to sit if you would like, or she lets the group know that they can pause for a moment.
I'd happily take a seat.
Yeah, sure.
Are there words that go with this that I might recognize? Speaking Elvish, being a little bit of a singer myself with some performance.
Yes, most of the words you know are collected along the memory, and the fact that they want this memory to endure. However, to make sure the memory endures, we must burn the individual from this world. In other words, they're going to create a big like funeral pyre. They're going to burn things. And you notice that the words are modified. Instead of like burning someone's body or their corpse, they're going to burn Lanakar's possessions. So there are some modifications to the words.
Gotcha.
Enough left for us to bring back.
Possibly other things that he had in life, I assume. Yeah, but we'd wait until she deems it time to pause. I don't wanna...
She goes for about another 10 minutes, and then they stop. And then most of the elves depart. And she, with a touch of melancholy, asks, what brings you outsiders to Starsong Hill? Were you friends of the Fallen? Are you here on some other exploit?
Ma'am, I believe we recovered Lanakar's remains.
With a sort of soft eye, she's like, ma'am, miss, if you will. Yes. No rings. Oh, And then it mentioned Lanakar. She goes, "You found him."
What remained of him?
In what manner did he fall? He was a great hunter, but headstrong.
To a great beast, fiendish in origin.
Do you have a way to demonstrate the beast to me? Her inclination is you might have spellcasters among you.
Minor illusion, a simple, small version of the spawn of Tiamat.
But this
Seems
is much
horrifying.
larger.
She says, "I have seen one like that here in the swamp. We have heard the tales. There has been one described. What color was it?"
Green.
That is much different than the ones the lizards worship.
What
did
color?
Yeah. What did the lizards worship? We came to ask you these questions ourselves. Celeria gave us your name, and that you may know more about the lizard folk and their recent religious excursions.
They referred to their new god as the Ebon Sun. S-U-N. He is described as invincible. No elvish arrow may touch him.
Have elvish arrows tried?
I believe they have, but those that have not returned. Personally, I don't believe in anything being invincible. However, the lizards have grown more brazen, and if there are creatures appearing in the swamp with the ability to defeat even our mightiest hunters, I worry for our people.
What did they worship before the Ebon Sun?
Oh, they had a number of ancestors that they worshipped. They worshipped the great lizard spirits that had gone before them. A number of them had a firm belief in dragons, but they did not believe the dragons to be gods. Until the story goes, one came and made believers out of them.
Recent?
Yes, past few months.
That's very recent. Okay.
Ancestor worship is not an easy thing to discard. Do you know of any populations of the lizard folk who refused to abandon their ancestors?
No, and the scary part is they uniformly seemed to abandon that.
That is not
Why
natural.
No, I believe that unnatural means were used to persuade them.
Do you know anything more about that? We seek to either stop them or make friends of them for the sake of of repelling the Red Hand. And if we could know perhaps what that unnatural source is, they may be grateful in us releasing them from mind control.
She ponders it, and then she seems to be thinking hard through her memory. She says, they did say that there were outsiders that have joined them. Perhaps the outsiders have a mystical beguilement that they use to influence the lizards.
It's probably that worm lord that we've heard so much about. You heard of this fella, this outsider, or outsider as much as you know about him?
I have not heard of him. However, if fogs have settled over their keep, it is very likely that a new leader hides in the fog.
Say fogs?
I think she means that in a metaphorical sense.
Oh.
We can't see past the green mist of lizard. And she kind of motions, like, you can see there's like heavy storms now. She goes, it's hard to see anything in this weather. So
You don't happen to know how the unnatural means actually works, do you? Like, is it something in the air or like a spell that's simply put?
She said it was a suspicion. More
She
than
goes,
anything.
I have an idea. And then she bats her eyes at Bope, and I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. All
Is it
right.
suggestion?
+2, Bo.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a 14 plus 5 plus 2, so 21.
That's
Crikey.
very good. Okay, you can tell she's trying to charm you, but like not malignantly.
Yeah, I bat my eyes back. Oh dear, I'm much past your age.
You have bright and handsome eyes, she
Oh.
says.
I thank you.
Right,
Both
the old-fashioned way. All right.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what she
Magic
said.
doesn't work.
She goes, that was a traditional attempt that we elves use to befriend the creatures of the forest. We took a gamble on this young man, she says kindly to Bope. Perhaps they are using something similarly.
So that's honestly that's good to hear. It's
Yes.
better to think that that's what's happening than actual true faith and belief in whatever the Red Hand has brought them.
Mhm. Sounds like
I mean, it's easier to deal with, certainly.
Certainly.
Probably still won't be easy. Because I'm worried if we take Deet and Tobias with us, if they're going to get caught up in it, because that would be like the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah. Then we'd have to kill them.
Particularly if it is some type of mental entanglement that he might be susceptible to.
We're devout, they say. We're devout.
Sorry, didn't see you there.
Yeah, they hold up their D's that they've whittled out of bone.
Aww.
D's, devout. No Lyra's devout.
Well, it's my job to take care of you too, so I have to worry about these things.
The only T's we worship are Timora. No Tiamats. No Tenebris. And no Talus and Jaffe.
Not his
I didn't see
birthday
that
anymore.
Yeah, that's
Because it would be useful if they could come with us, because they could potentially do some infiltration work. But if I don't think if it's not going to be safe for them, I don't want to take them with us.
Well, only
we'd
one
have
of
to
them, remember,
sacrifice
is
our
actually,
godly robes.
and only one of them is actually a lizard folk. The other is Yon T, and he may stand out just as much as we would.
Well,
Maybe not from a distance, but certainly close
oh
enough.
yeah, but I guess I was kind of thinking that Yuan T and Lizard Folk might get together okay, get along okay, rather.
I think Deet and Tobias are a special pair.
There's nothing like them.
And I give him a big
Light
old
shine
wink.
from crowds of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say, we're happy to stay here amongst the elves.
I don't know if I want to leave him here either.
Elves
Some
are
elves might be
friends,
carrying
not
grudges and hurt my disciples, and I won't have that. They're good folk.
Meanwhile, you can see three of the harpists, the harpers. That faction's here now. No, they Rasputin the ogre's just kind of sitting beguiled by three of them. They're like, so Simon says, touch your nose. He's like, touch my nose. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mature. I can charm people too, but I don't do that nonsense.
They
Just to
kind of
prove I
they
can.
go, we're just trying to learn from him. He bragged about his hypnotic eyes. That's why they call me Rasputin.
Okay.
This feels too meta.
I don't understand the reference.
Okay. Huh?
Yeah.
I would actually ask Talar if there's anything else you could tell us about this Ebon Sun. It's some sort of black dragon, you think? Or dragon creature? Or is it like what we slew earlier out in the swamp? Any inkling?
Kiliar's men would know more. The ones that have possibly encountered it. Because there have been rumors of a dragon flying through the skies, but you would have to check in the halls of healing to see how those that have encountered it have made out. So there is that Temple of Corella, that's where those who have been badly wounded in combat go to receive healing from their priest.
Say, Trilara, do your people have any tales of dragons before this most recent one? You know, like maybe sites that were holy to dragons, old dragon caches or places where they hold up?
There's nothing out of the ordinary. We normally tell traditional dragon stories. Sometimes the dragons are friendly. Sometimes they're not. But dragons aren't a huge part of our legend.
Thank you.
I think it might be worth listening to some of these old stories, because often information is passed in such a way through children's tales and the like.
If you do sit and hear some stories from her, there is one about Felgalos, your friend to the north, where they talk about the flying disaster back in his younger years. They tell stories of there being... they do tell a story of Tiamat. You can tell that they've changed her name, and they talk about, the ruler of hell and things like that. They have stories of a vile dragon known as Blightfang, who attempted to poison the elves in their waters here in the Blackfens, but was driven. That was a green dragon. And they... those are primarily their stories. There doesn't seem to be anything too relevant, but they have had some interaction with dragons in their tales.
I'll share with her the tale that we know of Felgalos and his being captured by Lady Censora, and I'll play up how horrible she is and full of herself, and the fact that she is coming here, driving a storm ahead of her to enter into the fray.
She thinks about it, and then she's like, Countess Sansuri.
Yes, cloud giant, ego, very, very large.
The one with the ghost girlfriend?
The same.
They're not together anymore.
So we've heard.
It's complicated.
It's probably an on-again, off-again sort of
She's
deal.
complicated with herself, apparently. I don't even know how to grasp that.
I don't even know if complicated is the right word.
Inconceivable?
Inscrutable.
Inscrutable.
That's a good one.
I like that word.
But you know her?
Concerning.
Or of her?
Yes. There were also rumors that have been told of a rogue group of cloud giants that have been coming through these lands that have been acting as a bit of a plague and a menace. And then they start to recount many Quentin shenanigans of this rogue cloud giant group, and the tale has gone, and
that's incredible.
We've heard of them as well. Whispers in the wind, the Nimbus.
Yes, perhaps this Nimbus could take care of her ebon son. That
sure would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be awfully convenient. It would indeed.
And the tale that I've heard, Countess Sensory was insulted by the Red Hand, and that's why she's coming to fight them.
We hope to gain the giants' allyship in the battles to come. We had also heard rumors that the giants of old came down from their hills and defended the forest for as long as they were able.
That they did. We talked to them and convinced them that ourselves.
Warning though, you may not want to be too friendly with Countess Sensory. She's possibly evil, definitely a terrible person.
Fickle, at the very least.
A torturer.
Don't ever trust her. Always have an escape plan.
Yeah.
And make sure you have all of the cards, or as many cards as you possibly can, to hold over her head, because she will
If you don't have an escape plan, have the means to escape. Have many different means to escape at your disposal.
She thinks through this and she says that is good counsel. Is there anything else you would like to try to acquire from Trelara, the High Singer, essentially the chief bard of the elves?
I would kind of like to know a little bit about the history between the elves and the lizard folk, in case there's anything useful there. So we know what things maybe not to mention, or maybe how to ingratiate ourselves with them after hopefully we've released them from
I think we kind
the
of got
magic.
that already.
Yeah, she lets you know that for a while there was in she explains that these elves originally lived far to the west.
I'm shocked.
We are not indigenous to the swamp. What happened was, in our old kingdoms, several thousand years ago, there was a civil war. There was... she tells the tale of arranged marriages that fall through, our wars of siblings against siblings, and how in order to create a lasting peace, this order of elves decided to go into the unsettled lands and journeyed here to these swamps, where they've lived for about 200 years. On again, off again, they would run into conflicts with the lizard folk, largely out of differences. They settled these swamps before most of these lizard families moved in. They journeyed from the east. They had come up through eastern lands and manifested in the swamp. But however, since they keep well hidden under hills, those lizard folks seem to develop their civilizations in the swamp, there's been a relative peace. However, recently, with the advent of a new god, the lizards have become brazen.
As if driven or something else?
Oh, I think we've
As if
heard
they're
about-
driven by the new god. Something is inspiring them to combat.
Yeah, need to dominate, etc., etc.
Do you get many goblins down here, or just the ones that may have wandered in from the Red Hand?
The last goblin uprising was about 200 years ago, and they totally conquered the city of Rest, which is now sunken in the swamp.
So if there were any goblins, they'd be like underwater aquatic goblins?
Yes, none survived there, and the humans did come and retake the city.
Hey, I pull out a little bag we recovered from the goblins. It's got 30 copper pieces in it. Do you know if this means anything? Any importance? And I'll kind of dump them into her hand.
Oh, it's got the Rest currency on it, doesn't it?
Yes, we recovered some other ones as well, but these were the first that we encountered on some goblins.
The goblins would have only obtained this if they had access to and from the swamp. So there must be goblins on the other side, or goblinoids.
Are the lizard folk using the Rest currency amongst themselves?
They typically don't deal in these sorts of monetary units. They usually deal in food and protection.
So someone else maybe paid the goblins.
These goblins were on the river, headed to the lake. Thank you.
So you can expect there to be goblins in Rest when you arrive. They are probably beyond the lizards. The lizards have formed a perimeter to obfuscate their activities.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, one of this worm lord is probably one of them, and he's probably the one communing or talking with this Eben sun critter, varmint thing that's flying about.
Illusion.
Let's keep it going. See what else we can learn.
All right. So, question for you: Is there anything else you want to try to learn from the elves? This night, they're going to hold Lanakar's funeral, which you can participate in if you would like. It might
kind
earn you
of
some
would.
ally points. Yeah. And then after that, the ruins of rest lie beyond if you want to assist them by driving the goblins out.
I think the only other thing I'd like to get from the elves is possibly from Kiliar the hunters anything about this Ebon Sun, if they think it's an actual dragon or if they actually have sightings of it, or if it's
So we
one of
know
these
what we have
other
to deal with.
fiend spawn.
I think
How much
stopping. I think stopping at the temple where
The wounded.
the wounded who have been in combat may have some additional information.
Yeah.
Or that
Maybe.
Either or both, possibly. I don't know which. You know, if Kiliar is there, seeing to his wounded men, that'd be super convenient.
So, the temple itself is probably the most beautiful structure here in Starsong Hill. It is shaped from a tree. There's like a large squat tree, and the branches and the trunk create this beautiful structure. There's a 10-foot tall statue of Corellin Lorathian, and there is an elf there dressed in green robes as well. And this is Alien Snowmantle. He is tending to several hunters who have been wounded, and it looks like some have burn marks on them. And he greets you in an elvish greeting when you arrive.
Respectful bow, but I don't know any Elvish.
Greetings right back at you in Elvish.
Greetings right back at you, Novus. Good job. Yeah, so, he asks, what brings you to the temple, and have you any needs?
I seek a blessing, for we have much work to do.
He asks if, by what god do you wish to receive a blessing?
Timora, may fortune always favor us.
They can't do that at this temple, can they?
He explains that they can't. He says, however, he can give you a blessing of good fortune. And so he speaks in a colloquial Elvish, and he reaches into a pouch, and he has what looks like a 4-leaf clover that he presses on your forehead. He removes his thumb. You have a clover there, and then he removes it with the other hand. And you have a limited use bless spell where on any roll of your choosing, I'm going to let you add a d4. Doesn't expire. It's just you get this one-time d4 that you get to add to something.
Pope kind of hops up. Ooh, do me.
And he speaks, he says, by what manner of blessing do you wish to receive?
Sylvanus.
He thinks about it, and then he reaches into the pouch, and he pulls out an acorn, similar to the one you've seen, that you've used. He speaks words of Elvish, and he grants you an acorn. This acorn, when you use it for a spell, Bope, allows the damage to be maximum damage one time at a maximum total number on your dice.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
that tickles.
Oh, I thought we were okay.
Yes. You're here for the wounded Elvish hunters.
We were actually hoping to also gain some information from the wounded hunters that you're tending to. Any that may have been wounded by a creature known as the Ebon Sun, some sort of great, possibly black dragon.
When you say one, a bandaged elf motions. He has been badly burned. His eyes are bandaged. Most of his hair is gone, and he raises his arm from a bench that he is laid out on.
May we speak to him, sir?
Yes, by all means. He won't be able to attend the funeral tonight, and if he wishes to speak to you, it may bring some comfort or resurface painful memories to him. So there is a young elf that is badly burned that motions for you to come forward.
Yeah, I'll definitely approach him. I got to speak in common. I don't know Elvish, so I'm like, greetings. I hope your wounds are healing.
He's sort of rambling in Elvish. Now, if Quentin speaks Elvish, he's explaining that the devil itself appeared in the skies. The devil called himself God. He unleashed a pure flame unlike any he had ever felt. It tore the flesh from their bodies. Most of them did not make it. They fled for their lives, and a number of them fell from their mounts. They were eaten by the lizards. But the dragon is not God. He is a dragon.
Quentin, see if you can get him to maybe give us some more description of this not a god dragon.
I'll kneel down next to him and take his hand if it's unwounded, whatever.
Yeah, he's squeezing hard too, and like he's explaining, he goes, he was the size of a large person. He was not a giant. He would have been a small dragon. However, he had the strength of a great one. It was an unnatural strength.
And his flesh, what color was it?
He was covered in black scales.
Black scales. You've got a strong spirit. You're going to survive this.
With that, he seems to lose consciousness, and he's rambling about the dark dragon god of the skies.
I'm going to ponder this and meditate, dig deep into my specialized knowledge on dragons, see if anything comes to mind.
He's describing a black dragon. It sounds like it would be a young dragon. However, given your experience with dragons, it seems that the force of which it fights with might be greater than a young dragon, so it's hard to tell exactly. The dragon is probably using its deceptive ways to convince the lizards that it is in fact God, when it is not.
Yeah, size usually equates to age, so maybe it found something to beef it up a little bit.
Perhaps another dragon artifact like the one we possess.
Something. The Red Hand has many number of these things. I imagine they've probably found some way to enhance this dragon, right? Some kind of magical artifact, possibly.
Perhaps one of their worm speakers has been able to empower it.
Well, if they're able to weave, demonic magic to create that thing that we fought, who's to say they didn't do something similar infusing this dragon?
It seemed like he was being literal when he was describing it as a radiant, divine flame coming from him.
Yeah,
Could have been acid.
Anyone want to make a medicine check?
Sure.
Absolutely. I got
Go for it,
good
Alden.
medicine. I got
Yeah.
+7.
Yeah.
Well, it came out to a 15.
15's good enough. You can tell that they've been badly burned by acid.
Okay, this is chemical burns. Yeah, these are definitely acid burns. He's
Black dragon.
poor little fellow's delirious, but it's still spewing acid, not any kind of fire.
Would a dragon as young as this one seems to be typically be on its own?
Most, I don't know.
I'm asking our dragon expert.
Quentin would know that it's very likely that he started his lair.
Yes. Well, I mean, all but the most youngest, or rather, only the very youngest, freshly hatched from eggs, would be around each other for any period of time.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering if this one has been separated from his parents.
Oh, no. It's not that type of... They're not like us.
By young, it is still quite old, correct?
Oh, yeah, decades.
Well, I don't know how it works. That's why I asked. Because the green dragon we found, I think, expressed a desire to go back to its kind.
The green dragon was
remember.
much, much larger.
It was a wormling. The first one we encountered many months ago. That was a wormling.
Back at the... Oh, yes.
In the kobold den.
Yeah.
Which the recent events with the dragon and the influence and kind of the change in mentality did make me recall upon that trek that we took into the wood.
Rainian, knowing that we're going up against something that's spewing acid, is there anything that could neutralize it with your alchemical background?
Creating acid, yes. I'm not sure about an antacid.
We'll just douse ourselves in milk.
Gosh, Bope doesn't know, but Corey, the chemistry teacher, really wants to talk right now.
Baking soda? Go visit the bakers.
Perhaps. Grant, could I make a proficiency roll?
So here's what I would say. You could probably make an antacid if you had the right ingredients. May not find them here in this swamp.
Doesn't hurt to look, at least.
Probably not much for baking around here, because I doubt they're much for growing crops in the swamp.
Why? Swamp is very fertile. Look at all of these nutrients just stagnating.
The bread basket. Bope, could you take my hand for a minute? I'm going to go a little blind and deaf for a few minutes.
Sure. I hold his hand.
I'm going to switch over to Sprout and spy on what they're talking about.
All right. It's at this point, Sprout is really laying it on thick. Like, he is very, very interested in everything Celeria, Stargazer, or Starsinger, has done in her life. He's really trying to hype up his accomplishments. Not only that, he's trying to push the narrative that, Quentin Stargazer, Starsinger, Stargazer, there's something there. Maybe since he has a keep, he also might be able to find a leadership position among these elves, being as eloquent and worldly as he is. And she's listening, and she's like, yeah, but, traditionally that's not the way we handle leadership here. He goes, not yet, but, for a while.
But hear me out.
Hear me out. We were running an
I'm going to let you
entire
finish.
village at Drellin's Ferry, and in fact, he's made friends with the Ghost Princess, Blanche Lafayette. She's like, who? Don't worry about it. The Countess. Obviously, this is a worldly elf with powerful connections, and she's just kind of listening. And, the whole time, he's drinking all the good tea. He's helped himself to all the cookies she's made. I know there's not a lot of baking.
He makes cookies too?
Yes, they were, and he's just kind of stuffing his face with all of her pastries and desserts, and she seems to just be enjoying this conversation because it's been a dreary time. And the speaking of the exploits of the Velkyn Weave and the fact that there could be good leaders in this land is inspiring her and giving her hope for the future for the first time in many weeks.
Okay, well, I'm going to back off and just let Sprout do his thing, and I'll rejoin Bope and company.
Going well.
Better than I could have ever hoped for.
That's not comforting.
Yeah, I was like, should I be worried?
Well, I don't think we're going to get run out of town, but
Sprout, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So, if there's nothing else the group would like to do, I would like to ask, is there anything you do to participate in the funeral? Because it'll happen that evening. There's songs, there's poems, there's stories being told of Lanakar's life. There are all of Lanakar's mementos being placed in the fire as they tell stories of remembrance of him. You would have the opportunity for a performance check if you want to participate.
Yes, I would actually. The song that was being done on the harp, steady up a little bit on the lyrics and join in or try to perform it.
He joined you on the accordion. No, sorry, we just happen to have one. No, the concertina.
Hurdy-gurdy. Yeah, I would do the elvish, of course, the vocal portion.
Make a performance check.
Okay. Nat 20, so a 27.
Wow.
There is not a dry eye left among the
Well
elves. Yes. And it's one of those things where it feels like you improvised a lot of the parts, just your natural genius said. It's almost like if you've ever seen the film Amadeus, when Mozart starts rewriting, you just rewrote their classic historical funeral dirge. Missing a little bit, and like you improvised quite a bit, added a few verses. I'm sure there may have even been a hint about how the justice of the Nimbus is swift and something to deflect attention onto the Emerald Enclave, as well as putting yourself in the Velkyn Weave over. Not that I'm putting words in your mouth through your performance, but the notes are right there on the page, including the ones you added. So it is the most phenomenal performance the elves have seen, to the point where on my secret alliance counter that I have in my notes, you've earned a few today.
Yeah.
Each one is worth a lot.
Nice.
So going according to plan.
Yes, and with that, this looks like a good time for a short break. Don't forget to ask character questions by typing question in all caps, followed by your question in chat. And with that, let's take a break.
The same
We
thing I
are
do.
live.
The same thing I do every day. Try to take over the world. Wait.
Let
We're
us
back.
know in chat if you can hear us, because I want to make sure our audio is going through to the Twitch.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
You got the inside scoop.
I threw my volume up on the other.
Woohoo! Nice technology. Woo!
Hooray.
We're back. And so we're going to pick up right where we left off at the end of the funeral. Now, if there's nothing else to do in town, let us skip forward to your plans. Now, are you going to honor your agreement with the elves and travel through to the Ruins of Rest and take out those goblins? Or are you retreating out of the swamp and saying, you know what, we'll just go back to the Horde? What does the Velkyn Weave?
I was thinking a different direction.
Decisions.
Let's go to Cholt. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Flying carpet, a haste
carpet.
spell.
We have means. How many dinosaur stat lines do you have prepared? This is an important question.
I mean, I stand by my
Good idea.
previous statement. We just get on the carpet and we ride around until the airship arrives.
Banging pots and pans. Look, wandering monster rules. A monster
like-
has to come.
If I roll
bang-
this table enough times, the airship's gonna arrive, right?
It's like
Yeah.
me using divine intervention every day.
No,
One
the
of these
correct-
days it'll kick in.
No,
Well,
there is a evil cult arising, and we shall do our part in order to knock out several birds with 5 stones.
we had an opportunity for like a long rest and to prepare new spells, right?
Yes, so everyone will have the benefits of a long rest. If you want to update any spells, you can. All of your hit dice will also restore. Spell slot should be on max. And the rains have not let up. They are coming down, causing the swamp to rise. There is the smell in the region beyond Starsong Hill of decaying vegetation. There is sort of a morose in the area. You know that these swamps are haunted. While you have not had face-to-face encounters with the ghouls, ghasts, wraiths, and skeletons that haunt the swamp, you have had encounters with other fiends and demons. You see far off in the middle of the lake, silhouetted by the rain, a large stone tower. And the Ruins of Rest are before you, largely underwater. But it is here that it is rumored that the lizard folk lie in wait, and their dark-scaled god, Regiax, the Black Dragon, and the Goblin Wormlord are preparing an army of Razor Fiend, spawn of Tiamat, to join the Red Hand to the south. So you have approached the ruins. Let me know how you'd like to approach. Currently, there is the heavy cover of rain. For all intents and purposes, you are all heavily obscured, invisible, so to speak. If folks are trying to see you, they cannot do so at the moment. Likewise, you can't see them. The weather would have to change, which it may or may not anytime soon. And it is a long swim to get to Rest. It's easier to get there on rafts or boats. You could let me know if you acquired any boats from the elves or made an attempt to, and then we can resolve that. You also have your flying carpet.
Yeah, I think we should fly in.
But like
We're
under the radar.
What
Okay,
about
you don't want to be up in the storms.
what about water breathing? Were we able to get that cast on us?
The elves don't cast water breathing. But that would be a good strategy if you have it.
I could arrange that. I did already have that prepared previously.
How long does that last?
24 hours. And I think I can do it ritually.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Nice.
So
I don't want to drown in a swamp. You know, bathtub maybe, but
I don't want you to drown in the swamp. That would Put us down a man.
I feel like that would take more time than flying in, and it wouldn't necessarily be safer.
No, that's our insurance policy.
No,
So
it's
if
like-
we get knocked off,
Oh, okay.
I could do the ritual while we're flying on the rug if you want. It's just 10 minutes, Just
Okay, no, I
I'm
agree with this
gonna
plan.
tear up some leaves, break some sticks, throw some mud in their mouths, water breathing. Boom.
So you would like to come in flying?
yeah.
I think so.
All right. Doliris,
Yes.
make a stealth check for me, understanding that you cannot be seen because of the heavy rains. So if anything is trying to see you, it will automatically fail a test that you relies
Ooh.
on sight.
22.
Holy crap.
All right.
Good job.
So let's see.
That
how
D20
this
likes
goes.
me today.
Okay. You're going to hate this. All right. You are flying in under the radar, so to speak. You're under the clouds. You are obfuscated by rain. It is this point I need every character to roll initiative. As you are
Oh
caught
boy.
on the flank, you hear a loud roar.
Well, we
And
guess
since
we knew
you're
this
in
was
the
coming.
skies, a dragon ally has spotted you.
Thanks.
They are
Did it-
perceptive.
So I didn't roll well enough to escape the dragon?
No,
He had a
Tragically.
really good spot.
dragons have plus 11, and they have blind sight.
That's pretty
They
good.
have keen senses in some circumstances. So let me actually move this over here, and then we are going to call out initiatives in just a second. Now, you will probably go before this bumpkin. Let me double check my initiative.
You haven't seen my
tracker.
initiative roll yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. So let's go.
Fastest druid in the West.
Oh, I dropped the gun.
All right. So let's get. Bope, what do you have?
18.
That's good because the dragon has 17. Eldon, what do you have?
4.
Oh, Quentin.
Not good.
15.
15. All right. Rinian.
9. I'm sorry, 10.
All right. And Doliris.
Also 10.
All right. So let me do one quick move. And the dragon has a... well, Doliris, go ahead and make a perception check for me, understanding that if you roll less than a 19, you don't fail. Or you cannot roll less than a 19. We're just going to see if you roll higher than it.
No.
Okay.
That
So the
D20
dragon will get surprised.
hated me. Damn it!
All right. And with that, I need essentially. I assume you're all sitting side by side on the flank.
Yeah, we
You're
are.
underneath. Okay. So everyone but the ogre, because the line will run through the two of you, needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 18.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
that's a high number.
Oh, so close.
No.
17.
Nope.
Oh,
11.
I'm not even
Then
saying.
You got a 17? Oh, man.
17.
I'm using that the bless
The bless?
to bump it up. So
Don't forget everyone's got a +2 because they're sitting next to me.
Oh.
Oh,
That didn't help me.
19.
yeah.
Wow.
All right.
And I got 19 as well.
All right. So, those of you that made your save take half of 57 points of damage.
Oh no! Oh
I mean, that
no!
did not take 57.
Cleric down. Cleric has been one-shotted.
Lightning or
It is acid damage.
Yep.
It is acid.
I wonder if it's the one himself.
If it's not, then we're in a lot of trouble.
28. Half of 57 is 28.
Why do my d20s hate me? I always fail my saves. Every single...
Like,
Fine.
okay,
Down and
like
who's
5
up?
minutes ago, you were like, this D20 likes me today.
Yeah, that was one roll so clear. That was a premature statement.
So, need a quick status report how everyone's doing.
I'm down.
half health?
I'm on pennies.
Then half health.
Okay.
Not quite half health.
Okay. And with that, we now go to the top of the initiative, which is Boat. It's going to go Boat, then Regiax the Dragon goes, then Quentin.
Okay.
You also, no one is flying the carpet right now. Nimble is trying to do the best.
What's Nimble doing?
Okay.
Scorched. Oh no! Don't even tell me. Full of holes, falls. I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
Not
geez.
Nimble. If Nimble dies, we riot.
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
I did. That's what you say about your characters in TV shows, you know?
So Bope reaches a acid slicked hand into his robes and slowly pulls out that magical acorn that he was bequeathed by. Can't pull up my notes fast enough. Ilian Snow Mantle, and will crush it betwixt his gnarled rheumatoid fingers and cast blight on the dragon.
All right, so it's going to be a blight at maximum damage, and that's necrotic damage, correct?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Heck yeah. Punish him. Punish him for killing your cleric.
And that's a DC 16 Constitution. So, yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, why am I getting my dice out? What the?
Sweet Sylvanas. I mean, no dice necessary.
No dice necessary. That's a big 64.
Made it, and we'll have to 32.
Still good.
Bastard.
Yeah, that's good. All right. The dragon has not recharged a breath weapon
Thank goodness.
Thank
point.
God.
and is going to fly up, and it's going to essentially it's going to close in the gap, and this dragon is a bit bigger than your largest party member. It's not too much larger than a medium-sized creature, but you can tell it's fierce as it's coming in swinging claws and teeth. So it is attacking Rinian. I don't think a 15 hits.
Nope. 15 will not.
23.
23 will hit.
So that'll do 15 piercing, followed by 4 points of acid damage. And then it attempts one final attack. It does not hit you with a 10. And after that, it is essentially in range. All right.
That's right. I don't take any damage. I forgot about that.
So is this the dude? Do we think?
Yes,
A
I think
smaller
so.
black dragon with a nasty, nasty acid spit punch seems
Okay.
to fit our
I
current
believe-
problem.
Yeah, it is now Quentin's turn.
So how close is? So we're all on the carpet. You know what? A couple hundred feet off the ground, probably.
Oh, Jesus. No,
And-
we were flying low.
Yeah.
Don't say
Marine
a couple
layer.
hundred feet. Are you trying to get us killed?
Oh, we're just above the ground then, or I'm just trying to get a feel for it. I thought you said we were like right
Lyris,
below
how
the
high were you
clouds.
flying?
I would say probably more like 15, 20 feet.
Oh, skimming the surface.
Okay.
Wouldn't be up in the
It's
sky.
fairly high. You know, about as high as... Let's say you're about as high as a 2-story house. So you were in the air. You were going... This creature came in. It's attacking because it has a longer reach. It's not like right up in 5-foot range. So it's about 10 feet out.
Okay.
It is also, for intents and purposes, you could see it because of your mask, I believe, if your mask is on.
That would be the first thing
Heavily
to do.
obscured and gets the benefits of being unseen because of the heavy rains.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you know the no action activating the blue dragon mask, and suddenly the world becomes clear, and
I can see clearly
Yeah,
now. The rain is gone.
so there's about a 15-foot gap. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try and telekinetically shove it 5 feet. Bonus action, I need, and I kind of hold my hand out at it, and it needs a strength 15 saving throw to be pushed back 5 feet.
Alright, I will do a strength saving throw. Doesn't make it. It's pushed back 5 feet.
Okay, so we should be clear of it rending us as I grab Nimble and tell it, fly, fly!
Alright.
To move forward, and then
Nimble takes you its full move, which is a lot. And you are out of its blind sight range at this point. It does not know which direction you went into. It would have to try to perceive you.
okay, and
And it's hard to perceive you. It has to beat Delirus's original roll.
yeah.
So it could end up going completely in the wrong direction.
I guess that's blind. Yeah, I guess I'm oh, what the hell? I'll Eldritch Blast it since I can try. 19 and a 27 to hit.
Both of those hit.
So he's not too...
Invincible.
Total of 10 force damage.
Alright.
And I'm done.
With that, pinned... Yeah. So, with that, one of its legendary actions
Oh no.
goes off. Yes. I need to roll a die to see if you end up getting targeted. He doesn't see you.
No.
So at this point, he's attempting to pin a darkness spell on the flying carpet. Now, it wouldn't affect Quentin, but people would just be like, all right, we can't see anymore. Took our eyes. So he essentially puts it in the air where he expected you to be, kind of sticks his nose in, you're not there anymore. And you have eluded the dragon for right now. He doesn't know where you are. Now, Quentin, you can see, even in the heavy rain, what with your mask on, that dragon is snooping around for you. And for the next party member, Delirus, go ahead and make a death save.
All right, I rolled a 17. What do I do with that? I forget.
Success.
You smile.
You made a success.
Oh, great.
You continue breathing. Congrats.
Ridian,
Yay.
you're up.
Since we are so far, I will kneel down next to Delirus, placing a hand upon her shoulder and filling her with a Sylvanus's warmth embrace. As I look at Quentin and is like, "Can you move us above him?"
How far is the cloud layer above us?
You would need to go up. So it's heavy rain. You'd probably have to go up a few hundred feet, just to get up into the clouds.
It would be a couple seconds that I don't know we'd want to be exposed. We'd also hit the ground and
Die.
dive into a puddle.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Delirious gained 40.
Thank you.
It's probably doing the same thing I am and looking with clear sight through these conditions. Maybe, though, call upon stealth Tamora if we wish to continue.
That's what we need to take out. Yes?
Yeah, we need to kill it anyway. Probably.
Or is there something else that you think? Is there some other target that we should focus upon?
I think this
Is
is a
there-
good start.
It's already down like 40 health, right? 40, 50, somewhere in there.
You don't
Is-
know, you're asleep.
Your numbers mean nothing to me.
Is it lightning out?
I'm just speaking in tongues.
There could. It's not. You don't see lightning. It's mostly heavy rain.
Asking for my druid friend.
Asking for.
For all intents and purposes, you're out of initiative at this moment. Eldon, you can go if you would like.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do some healing stuff to help.
Do what you got to
folk.
do. Yeah, because you're kind of at like a tactical moment. So the dragon theoretically could find you all and engage you again.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily what the dragon wants to do because it just collided with what it thought was going to be maybe something else in the air, and then saw magic, suffered a blight.
We were not an elf and an owl.
You were not an elf on the owl, and nor were you another flying creature or a fish.
I think we should take him out get him while the getting's good. But first, I'm gonna summon my unicorn spirit totem, who is just going to prance along in the air next to us, and slap Bope on the back and give him a nice second level cure wounds.
Woohoo!
And not the best, but you get 12 hit points back. Actually, make that 20, Bope, because
Ooh.
everyone, because of the unicorn spirit, also gets 8 hit points back, because that's my druid level, because of the unicorn
That was-
spirit.
Amazing. Thank you.
Heat, do you say?
8, I say.
I'm going to pull a climbing kit out of my belongings in case I get to jump on its back.
I was like, get me close to it. And I
Okay.
will do that.
Yeah, get me up
So-
under.
Drive him closer so he can hit him with his sword. That's what
Well,
he's
it's
gonna
your
do.
turn. So the dragon's out there someplace.
Yeah.
Fly me closer. I wish to hit it with
I
my
think
sword.
getting above it will be an advantage.
I mean, yeah, that is a better place to be, above.
Look, I can bring my familiar back, and I can have it shout and draw its attention lower if we're able to stealth higher and attack it from above. Death from above, just like the Nimbus would do. They are dragon hunters, after all.
Are they?
You made them up.
But the stories are real.
No, they're not.
Well, the stories are real, as in those are stories that are actually being told. They did not happen, but the stories are real.
Today's victory will be real. I can feel it. The
Yeah,
dragon will
better,
feel it.
because I don't want to be digested today.
Dissolved.
Now we got to get this fella. Let's take him out. If we want to throw Renyan at him from on high, yeah, let him cannonball the son of a bitch.
Deploy the paladin!
I don't know what a cannonball is. We're gonna catapult him. There we go.
Hold up my hand to Renyan. Do you trust me?
No, good.
You shouldn't, Yank.
Oh, do you have a specific action you wanted to do?
I was first going to ask Renyan, do you want to fly?
I mean, it would make things somewhat easier. I had other ways of getting there, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. I cast fly.
You
Grab
say yes.
grab him by the ankles because that's what I can reach, and you feel lighter.
Fly, you fool.
I do one of those, like Captain America stepping off the plane, just jump off.
So
Oh no,
for
you
inten-
didn't cast it right.
Time to go take care of the natties. Just
It's a delayed action.
the rain's still coming down hard, and at this point, there is a layer action that is going to go off.
Oh my goodness.
A what?
Yes.
Turns to acid rain.
So, this layer action is there is a large wave that is coming up and over the carpet, assuming the carpet hasn't gone up really high and it's still flying at the same level that was described. It would be in rave, and I need everyone to make a DC 15 strength saving throw.
Oh no.
just lost our
Oh,
+2
no.
bonus, guys.
You got me.
A DC what? It doesn't matter.
15.
Yeah,
Dang, I
I
was
fail.
gonna do some control water shenanigans too. So close. Hey.
So
how, is it a line? So if I dropped off and I'm at a lower altitude, would it hit me? I mean, it doesn't
So-
matter. I made the save.
it's a
26.
wave. It's coming up and over. It's roughly, up and then about 20 feet wide. So it's moving as a wave, up and
I think a
over.
wave would get you probably.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get the ogre too. He's under, so he's kind of like he's right above the water. He's like fish.
17.
26.
Those of you that made it are fine. Those of you that didn't make it, you are knocked prone, and are still on the carpet.
Oh, okay.
The carpet itself is lowering closer to the water level. Dragon's turn. Quentin, if your eyes are on the dragon, remember, to everyone else, it's for all intents and purposes invisible because it's heavily obscured the condition.
Right.
You see, it goes down into the water and disappears into the water.
I call it out to the group. Yep.
Yeah. And with that,
It's gone
Uh,
fishing.
with that initiative ends, you can go dragon hunting through the swamp. But that dragon, you knowing dragons very well, black dragons are amphibious. That dragon doesn't like what it encountered out in the open.
I think that means we need to pursue it.
Can I use control water and whirlpool the motherfucker?
You have no idea where it is unless
Okay.
you can see
I
invisible
cannot.
things. Yeah.
Uh,
But you can whirlpool the whole swamp. Drain the swamp! No,
Quentin,
Yes.
does your familiar share your mask bonuses when you have that activated, for sight?
that'd be hilarious, yes. I am the dragon god sprout. Hey.
Hey.
No.
I see you. Hey.
I mean, not really, but I could do a crab familiar. They can see really well in the dark. In blind
Well,
conditions. What do you want it? What are you asking?
Well, ideally, I'd like something that can move probably as fast as the dragon and find it so that we can, put the hurt on it.
In its own territory, in its lair, in our condition. I mean, that's not the battlefield I would choose.
But
I might be the only.
well, again, we
one
can
to
we
do
can
that.
whirlpool it if we know where it is, and that will force it to adjust. And if it goes back into the air, then we can fight it. Because if he feels the need to run away, that means this is our best chance at killing it.
Oh,
I think.
actually, I don't think this. Unless the swamp has gotten 25 feet deep, I can't actually whirlpool the swamp.
Oh,
I need a bigger.
Some places it may be, because remember, an entire city has sunk here.
True, we just don't know where it is, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Oh.
and because of the floods, yeah, you're not too sure where it is. And also remember, there's lizard folk tribes in the region. There's goblin and hobgoblin forces within the city. and think about the method of which you were attempting to be undetected. That dragon did see you, but when it collided, it's up for debate what that dragon ends up doing.
Maybe we should just keep heading to the city, and I don't know. It knows we're here now, and unless we can spot it, which Quentin, you can see it.
Yeah, only for a few minutes though. This is not an all day thing, and it's not. It's not going to be enough to get us through if only one of us can see.
Yeah. Maybe we should go higher up to stay out of range of, I don't know, just to make the dragon come to us. That's dangerous, but I could also fly if necessary to make it less so. Maybe provide some air support. I don't know. We should keep going at this rate. We're just floating here.
But
Pop back up.
he's basically one of our objectives.
Well, we know, or we think at least, given that there's a dragon, there's likely a worm speaker, and if they are separated, it might be easier to pick off the other. At least if we can find that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try taunting it out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do anything too flashy
No. I mean,
outside of battle.
Draconic, right?
Straight. Yeah, I speak Draconic. Straight up, invisible, familiar shouting. Insulting him.
Hell, you do it yourself. I can have some lightning ready to come down on him if you want.
It might bring all the other denizens of the swamp, though, too. All the lizard folk.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. Because if it draws attention away from the keep, I mean, they'll likely know what we're doing, but it probably will draw some forces away from the keep. So we go in, hopefully maybe kill the Worm Lord.
Well, if they see us slay the Ebon Sun, this invincible creature, that's going to make an impact, right?
And, well, hopefully it'll end the compulsion. I suspect we have to kill both the dragon and the Worm Lord for that, though. But that will definitely help our cause in innumerable ways if they see us kill the... But I don't want them to watch the battle because they'll probably help it and fire arrows at us. And that hurts.
That would be unfortunate.
I mean, it'd be enough if we just, threw its severed head at their feet.
Right, I'm going to have I'll summon Sprout back up and have him go invisible, and I will speak through him in my voice in Draconic, basically giving out some Nimbus propaganda, like the cowardly dragon ran away, the storm is coming, all that type of stuff. And he'll be 30 feet off the ground, cruising at his maximum speed, just doing
Sprout?
Shatter and Draconic. Yeah.
Just around the swamp or anywhere else in particular?
Starting where he dived down into the water and then just kind of spiraling out from there.
Yeah, the dragon won't hear him well in the water, and after going in the water, he's traversing the waterways. But Sprout being in the area shouting may draw some attention. And he's using the word Nimbus. If it gets back to the bell tower, it'll be like, the Nimbus are here! Oh no!
Run!
If only.
Rasputin calls up and asks if you want him to shout too, because he's close to the water.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
All right.
Now, do we want to go to the keep and slay the Worm Lord, or do we want to stick around and see if the dragon pops up?
Slay the Worm Lord, maybe. That may...
Worm Lord right now.
The Worm Lord may be what's enhancing the dragon, too. If we take out the Worm Lord, the dragon becomes easier.
Yeah.
All right. GM. Do we have 10 minutes of fly time between us and the keep?
In your flying carpet, at the speed you're going, you could probably get there in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Maybe less.
think what she's asking is, can we delay to 10 minutes?
Well, I mean, if we...
Explain why you want it delayed for 10 minutes.
Oh, because I want to cast my group heal spell because we're terribly injured.
So, yeah, well, you could slowly fly to the keep. You'll probably end up getting spotted by someone eventually.
Oh, I don't like that.
Shells can
Some
go
of
ahead
them
and
don't need sight to find you. With that said, you could also pick a small island to hole up on and heal yourselves, or fly into the city, because it's a sinking city. There's a lot of hidden locations. Your sneak's pretty good, and the perceptive dragon isn't on the same tier as you right now. There's other things that might find you. So,
Yeah, maybe
depends how you want to do it.
maybe there's a tower or something above the water we can hide in.
There's the bell tower. You can see its silhouette in the raid.
I think that's probably a pretty good target.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do another Cure Wounds to Boat before my Spirit Totem runs out.
Ooh, thank you.
Just a level 1, but everyone also gets 8 hit points at the same time.
Oh, thanks.
Bope on top of the 8, take 6 more. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, you're making your way to the bell tower?
Sounds like our destination.
Yeah, let's do it.
Over 10
Yeah.
minutes or immediately in holding up there?
How about we just go there immediately? You can finish it up.
Yeah, and then we can hold out there for 10 minutes while I do my spell, and then we can get some, scout a little bit something. I don't know.
Recon after that.
Figure out what's happening in response to our ruse.
And once we get there, if Sprout is still alive, I will put him back in his pocket dimension and then bring him back to me. You did good work today, Sprout.
I sure as heck did, he kind of struts his stuff. As you arrive to the bell tower and you approach and come under the overhang, you are now out of the rain, and you can see that there are 7 hobgoblins on top of the bell tower. They seem as shocked to see you as you see them. They weren't expecting you, and no dragon warned them that you were coming. So you're going to have the element of surprise, because not every day a flying carpet carrying the Velkyn Weave flies in. I need you to roll initiative, and then you're going to get a surprise round, and we'll see what happens. Whether or not you take the ball out, or you silence them, or you do something, because they are intent on sounding the alarm.
Now, you said they were on top of the bell tower, below the roof, or are they standing on the roof?
They're below the roof, so there's an overhang, and
Okay.
they're trying to stay out of the rain.
Right.
Their job is to ring the bell, should they have to.
Yeah.
Give me initiative. Ooh, that's pretty good.
17.
18.
I mean,
Nice.
can anyone fill the bell with something that makes it from ringing?
22.
Wax!
Can you make like a globe of water with control water?
I don't think there's enough water here because we're not in the rain anymore. I had another idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Is the bell tower made of stone?
It is. It is
Better.
a stone bell tower. What was your initiative count, Eldon?
18.
18. And Rinian, you had 16?
Yep.
Delirious?
5.
Quentin?
17.
And then Bope was 22?
Hmm.
All right, let me do
Nice.
a quick roll for them. Man, I spent all day making all these, lizard folk encounters. You just fly right over them.
I'm sorry.
And you gave us a
No,
carpet.
That's fun. I have
Almost. We're tempted to chase the dragon. We probably
Well,
would've
it's in,
planned for that.
flying there, you could steal owls from the elves, you could turn into owls, or, there's lots of ways you could approach from...
Why would we steal owls from the elves?
Maybe we aren't good guys, and
The challenge with these folks are whether or not you, Okay, so the hobgoblins have initiative count 15. So, so they will go before Delirious. One of them has 15, one of them has 17, and one of them has 4. So Delirious goes in front of one of their groups. There's 3 clear clusters. And by that, That means they have different stat blocks. But there's 7 of them up there. So all of you get to go first. So both, what's on deck?
Okay, how big is this area?
Say it's roughly like 20 feet by 20 feet. It's a big tower, big top.
Okay, so really important question. Would a fireball ring the bell?
No.
Ring
It
the
would be
bell.
visible even in the rain
Ooh, that's a risk too.
from all around.
Well, I mean, if we don't... I don't have a better idea for taking out 7 combatants.
Or if you
What was
just
your
can
initiative?
take out the bell.
Oh, what's your initiative?
22, so
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
I could do... I mean, what's better than a fireball? 2 fireballs.
I just had some
Slow all but one of them.
logistical questions about the bell tower. Is it
Yes.
like a pull rope, or are they hitting it with a mallet?
It's not a gong, it's a pole rope.
It's a pull rope. Okay.
They might not even actually know to ring a bell.
Is
Could
it
just be
hanging?
circumstantial.
Is it hanging like on like a timber and beam situation?
Describe how you'd like to break it. Yes, that's exactly how it is. I'll send you the schematics. I've got my AutoCAD files.
Sorry,
No, I'm just messing with you.
I have
No,
a very
it's good to
specific
think
way
about.
that I could stop the bell.
It's going to be that way, and then they're just going to pull out their like Horn of Gondor and be like, remember they did have horns that they blew in earlier. Oh, it's fine.
Okay, actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern, which should hit all of them.
Yes,
I support this.
Wisdom save DC 16.
they're probably not going to get that, my friend.
Well,
So-
now that you've said it,
Yeah. All right,
Just
let's
let it
see.
happen. Let it happen.
It'll never happen. They won't be able to do it.
stop
All right.
saying that.
These hobgoblins have never made a save in their life. So wisdom,
Wisdom 16.
well, the first group of 3 groups all fails.
Oh, thank God.
The second group of 3 groups all fails, and the final group makes it.
And that is composed of how many creatures?
A single hobgoblin who
Okay.
appears to be their leader.
Yeah. So as
Hmm.
you guys see, the familiar, I think I've cast it once before, the familiar 3 acorns pop out, I toss them up and they turn blue, red, and yellow and swirl and become oblong. And
Hypno
you see
acorn.
6 of the hobgoblins just sort of go vacant and stare. And I point at the last one, I say, "Get him!"
Great. All right. That's great. Now, yeah, I've got all of y'all's initiative up here. So it's going to be Eldon, and then it'll be Quentin, and then it'll be Rinian, and then it'll be Doliris, and then we will be in regular initiative.
So, I'm worried about this bell. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna.
I will.
Hmm? No, usually you take out the leader. You're the tank. Let me handle the bell. I can do weird shit.
Yeah, weird druid shit.
Weird druid shit. I'm gonna kind of hop off the rug and hop over a few feet to the stone floor underneath the bell, and I'm gonna cast Stone Shape and cause the stone floor underneath the bell to basically rise up and encase the interior. So to prevent the little
Yes.
hanger
The clapper.
from, like, clang,
Yes.
from there's no clanging anymore. If they
Continual,
hit it with a
yes.
hammer, even it's just going to be like king.
It goes right up. And like
Science.
if they could see what you were doing and they weren't hypnotized by the pattern, like the one that sees, he's just like, "No, my bell."
Oh.
You know what you have to do, Renian?
Fine.
This is Sparta! And you just kick him off the tower.
No.
Or
There might be
bash him up
things-
with your
there-
shield.
There might be things down there.
And we don't want evidence.
Fine.
It's
But
okay.
I-
It only took us 5 minutes to get here, so I'm still flying anyways. I get to fly in at him.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh,
Hypnotic pattern.
okay. Oh. Huh?
Rinian
No.
goes to fly, and they're just no.
Hold my acorn.
It's okay.
Are you up?
That's my turn.
Okay, yeah. Let me call out initiative, and I apologize.
Quentin.
I put your heads in order on the Google Doc. Yeah, Quentin is next.
I point at the leader guy and I say, "Get over here!" And I lash out with a whip of lightning and try to pull him closer. It's a DC 15 strength saving throw. If he fails, I pull him 10 feet closer to me.
You pull him 10 feet closer to you.
Is he over the
closer.
edge?
No.
Like- No? Well, how far is he from the edge now?
About 5 feet.
Okay, and then I wiggle my finger at him and I try to telekinetically pull him the remainder over the
All
edge.
right.
That's a
We're trying not to throw him off the edge.
You're trying not to throw him off.
You just said so.
Quentin has a plan.
DC 15 as well.
That one he makes.
Okay. I'm done.
And then Rinian?
Hopping down off the carpet onto the stone. I will find the one that still appears to be on his feet,
You're right next to him.
and I will lay into him.
Oh. All right.
Oh, he did take
Armor
12
class
lightning
13.
damage from the lightning lure.
That's good to know.
See, first attack is a 22.
That beats his armor class by 9.
Oh!
9.
Oh boy.
Oh wow. I thought he was a boss. Maybe he's a caster.
We've encountered the
We found the sergeant.
civilian elves, hobgoblins.
Oh,
Manning
don't
the bell
say
tower.
that.
10 magical slashing.
All right. So he's nice and cut open now. He's still
Yeah.
alive.
And then knockdown.
Most likely, yes.
I only got a 16.
He only got a 14.
So,
I'm prone.
and then second attack. Not 20. Sweet.
Oh, that's gonna be it.
Ryan.
I'll first do 9, 14 magical slashing,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just do a single one of these. Do that for 10 plus
Would you say that you've rung his bell?
23. 23 radiant as I
Levi made that impossible.
All right.
smite.
Yeah. Describe how you put him to negative 16 hit points.
I quietly just just insert the blade.
He kind of just looks like he's peaceful. Kind of gets a little smirk too. He's like a weighted blanket. And his anxieties subside, and he goes to Hobgoblin Heaven. Or Hell. I really haven't decided what his demeanor was or what sins he may or may not be accountable for. But no, so the rest are just like dumbfounded. They're like, whoa, there were so many beautiful acorns. They're just standing there, bewildered.
Can we coup de grace them, basically dagger to the throat with them not moving?
I mean, it lasts 60 seconds, so
If we move quick.
One at a time, everyone.
We could rule that you go around and you dispatch them because they're not too difficult. The hobgoblins here, some of them are strong, some of them are not. After all, it'd be unfair to throw deadly hobgoblins at you, and a dragon, and a worm lord, and a bunch of lizard shaman. So So, yes, you murder the rest of the hobgoblins up here while they're bewildered. Just one by one, they give in to acorn temptation.
I immediately start animating 2 of them.
All right, and I'll do my 10-minute healing spell.
And I'll write the Nimbus symbol on the bell.
Without silhouetting myself, I will look out so that I'm not paying attention to what Bope's doing.
Oh,
Good man.
everybody takes 8 because I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh no! Oh.
You've healed
Still
me
take
for
it.
more than 5 over my cap.
Oh wow!
So, from the bell tower, you can see, even in the rain, many of the hobgoblins have gone indoors, but there are a number of buildings down below in the ruins of Rest. It looks like there's a large, like almost Acropolis town hall type structure. It looks like there's other buildings that were prominent for officials and leaders here. Most of it is leaning, sunken, and sitting in the swamp. You are at the highest point. You are much higher here in like the bell tower, which is a good 60 feet above everyone. And there is stairs to go down, should you like. There's from the rain.
Is it possible to see any signs of living in one of the nicer places? You know, perhaps this warm speaker likes to stay in something nice.
There
Probably.
are lights coming from the town hall. There are also lights coming from a second structure near the town hall.
Delirious. Can you give Sprout Tamora's stealth blessing?
Yes. Can't you just turn invisible though?
Yes, but that would help even more.
Some things.
All right.
He needs to both be stealthy and be invisible. Silent, deadly.
Should skill fail you, Tamora's blessing will make up the difference.
Don't those do the same thing?
What?
Doesn't Tamora's blessing just give him advantage on stealth, and doesn't invisibility just give him advantage on stealth?
No, invisible makes him so he can't be seen, but he still needs to make a hide check or a stealth check.
Yeah, because seeing is defeated by like blind sight.
Oh,
Yes, they have ways
Gotcha.
to detect you. Essentially,
enough.
when you're invisible, those that are trying to find you are effectively blinded, which means they automatically miss checks. But a lot of these creatures here, particularly lizard folks, etc., they're relying on smell. They have a number of traps. Make a stealth check. And also, you would notice that a number of torches are being lit below suspiciously. A dragon may or may not have reported an encounter with individuals on a flying carpet.
Let's see, that is a 19 for Sprout or for all of us. The stealth
Sprout.
check. 19.
Where is he trying to go?
Look in the town hall thing. Is that what you said it was?
Yes. So
Kind of creep and try to look in the window, and I'll be looking through his eyes and ears.
Sprout goes in to the town hall. He can see a plump goblin wearing a brilliant mithril shirt with a cunning grin, sitting beside a spear. He appears to be listening to a small pebble that he keeps between two fingers. And at that point, he turns and points a spear directly at Sprout.
I pull him back to me. Action to make him pop.
I think that's our guy.
He was spotted or had some magic. He saw him.
What?
Knew Sprout
Who was it?
there.
I relayed all that to you as it was happening.
Okay.
I was like, he looked in my souls, he knew all my crimes.
Which were plentiful, I'm sure.
oh, jeez.
That's the
My
word.
stash.
Speaker?
Told him
I'm pretty
where
sure
my stash was.
that they know we're here. They just don't know we're up here yet.
They know.
So, get
something
ready.
is here.
I don't know what we can do now that they're alerted. I was hoping
We-
this would be a stealth mission.
Well, the goblin guy is wearing mithril, so he's definitely a cut above the average goblin. So we kill him if we kill anyone.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think that's our guy. I just would like to get out of this alive.
Says spear, mithril armor, hobgoblin though. Hobgoblin or goblin?
No, goblin.
Little goblin fella?
He was little
Yeah.
goblin, plump.
Oh.
What
Remember
was the-
30
what
copper
was
coins,
Or
some
a
allies.
goblin of size.
What was the last worm speaker that we saw? What was
Bugbear.
Yeah, there was a bugbear.
The bugbear sorcerer. Still goblinoid, but yeah.
I thought he was a wizard, but
Um,
anyway. There's nothing that says that they're all going to
I don't know the
be
difference.
bugbears or whatever.
But I figured goblins are pretty low on the totem pole.
this
Not
one
if he's
must-
wearing mithril, he's not.
Yeah, this one must be exceptional.
Indeed.
Let's kill him for his shirt.
what?
Valyris has
Whoa.
broken bad finally.
Well, damn, Saint Doliris of Timora.
Listen, he's obviously, you know, a war target here, and his shiny shirt
No.
would be good to have. So
No doubt. He's most likely a wicked son bitch. I give you that.
Yeah.
That's not. We are not here just for his shirt.
We aren't. I think Doliris might be, huh?
All right. Do we want a distraction? I can send Sprout out somewhere else to cause some trouble.
You all
Otherwise-
notice something very unusual happening in the bell tower. You see a point of light has appeared in the tower above you all, illuminating the area.
That's not good.
So are all of our silhouettes visible from the ground now?
Yes.
We should go down the tower
Yes.
immediately.
Yeah, can we go downstairs?
Are you going down by flying carpet or stairs?
Stairs, I think.
You see, as you go to the stairs and you see stairs down, there are hobgoblins down there, and they seem to be shaping the steps. Almost as if they're chucking them from the side of the building. You're about 60 feet up, but you see them down there.
Maybe it's time to let that bell ring one last time on its way down.
Does that mean one of you wants to pitch it over? I don't know if I can do that again too many times.
Rinian, you see, I always, you're kind of like the Inigo Montoya of the group in my head, where you're just kind of checking back. It's just, I check behind us because maybe there's and you do see several boats. Even in the rain, they have torches. They are coming towards the ruins of Rest.
Find us.
The light.
I
No,
pointed
they're
out
not
to-
coming to your exact point, but they
I
are coming to the ruins.
Pointed out to Doliris. Doliris, can you make out what is in those boats? What do your
Super
what do your,
Lizards.
perceptive cleric eyes.
Your
what do your
human
Lizard
elven,
folks.
what do your elven human eyes see?
There are lizard folks sailing to Rest. Their torches were lit on the grounds, and a light illuminated the tower.
The lizard folk are here.
Blast that son of a bitch as quick as possible inside
They're
the
a
town
ways
hall.
off, though.
Time mission now.
Make sure all of his friends see it.
Oh. You want to just fireball the guy with the mithril shirt?
Oh,
He's in the town hall.
in
It's probably not a very
level the whole buildings. What I'm
yeah, I
saying
was
is
gonna
we
say
need
it's
to
probably
take
not a-
him out quick as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, that's not going to be a sturdy building.
Do we have options? We have many options to throw at that building between you, me, Bope, Rinian as being a human catapult boulder. No offense intended. You're a destructive force and a scary man. Quentin's got some ideas.
Bob casually glancing over the side, you notice that there is a hobgoblin holding a white flag, like cautiously climbing up the sides of the steps.
It's a bold move.
I think
Great.
he's,
That's interesting.
well, or it's a time tactic.
Is that semaphone?
I mean, it certainly is, but the fact that they think they need that at all is really interesting.
You said a hobgoblin's doing that?
Yeah, he seems like he wants to parlay with the group.
I think we should hear him out.
Yeah, probably. They've got us.
Let's pull him onto the carpet and hear him out then. And if we don't like what he's saying, we can just push him off.
Well,
Whoa!
look, every
the hearers.
hobgoblin we've ever talked to be fair, well, their goals may be terrible. Honest to a fault.
I'll give them that.
And
Flag boy, come on up.
All right, he's coming up, and he's speaking in a goblin. Everyone speak that, or anyone speak it?
not a
All
soul.
right. When he notices none of you speak that, he says, "Okay." Now the ogre does. The ogre speaks some, and he responds because he's worked with a lot of these Red Hand. He's acting as royal translator, and the hobgoblin's like, He seems so frustrated. He was like, he says, Wormlord Sarvith welcomes you to rest. Is curious what has led you here. If you're lost, he'll send you on your way. But he doesn't want things to escalate any deeper. You've killed a number of them. You have met Regiax, his ally, and he wants to understand what your intentions are. What brings you up here? Haven't encountered anyone like you in the swamp.
I love intelligent.
So, might we have a moment to confer while you wait down the stairs?
Absolutely. And he starts making his way down the stairs. He seems like he was peeing himself just being around because, I mean, you just killed 7 hobgoblins. You encountered a dragon and lived, even if you took lumps. And he's just a hobgoblin, like 10 hit points, high armor class, but 10 hit points. And he's just like, could have been the Nimbus.
You're much taller, so I hear.
Yeah, he's going down the steps, though, and he's listening. And the hobgoblins are looking up, shouting at him. He's shrugging. He's like...
So, we don't tell them the truth, right?
We're
Right.
agents of Nimbus.
I don't see what the point of parlaying at all is.
I don't either, because the whole point is, right, to take out
Right,
this
it's
worm
the
lord.
dragon.
Yeah, and they're
Regiax.
vulnerable. If they're trying to negotiate, they're vulnerable. He doesn't
Means-
want this to escalate. He's afraid of
Means
something.
He's worried, exactly.
Yes.
We're inconveniencing him by killing his minions, but he's not actually afraid.
I don't know. If he wasn't actually afraid, he just sent a platoon after us, not to do with the white flag.
Hey, he's smarter than the average goblin. I say we
Yeah.
burn the lizard men in the boats and don't meet him face to face. It's just going to be a trap.
Well, remember, the lizard men are not necessarily the true enemies here. They're
Yeah, I'd rather not kill them if
I
possible.
was actually going to
The
suggest
dupes.
the opposite, Quentin. I'm sorry. I was going to say let's not even speak to these hobgoblins again.
Just go over
and
fireball
Fly
the
right
building.
over to the town hall and blow the shit out of it right
Yeah.
now. We
Yeah.
have multiple ways to do that. Is it still raining?
You notice when the lizard folk sailed closer, it's almost as if it was creating an eye of the storm. Almost as if they have control
They have
over
a
the rains
caster.
itself. And
Just wonder if you would consider these stormy conditions.
rainy.
For my favorite druid spell.
I'd ask,
Now,
but still, it's fun.
I'd like one of you to make a perception check. Whoever you want to make it.
I volunteer as tribute.
Volunteer contributed anyways.
Ooh, 22.
22 is going to be good enough. You notice floating in the air, about 100 feet off in the storm, you see a silhouette of a hobgoblin robed, flying. Eyes fixated on the tower. Then you see in the other direction, there is another hobgoblin flying, eyes fixated on the tower. When you look in the other direction, there is a dragon. Same dragon before, only this time, it appears that someone has mounted him. and there is, you see the reflection of the mithril on the dragon. Now you notice they're a good 400 feet off, and even though you saw them for a second, they seem to disappear from sight altogether, and you lost track of them. I'm giving you that bit of information to the point where you're starting to suspect they're really trying to delay you as much as they can. So
we
that
need
they
to
can
move
set the trap.
before we get multiple fireballed and acid breath.
Yes, we.
And he's not in that building anymore, so we just need to leave and reassess.
I think this calls for a dimension door.
What?
Otherwise, I'm not sure we're going to get away in time.
You get us all.
It's-
You could
Just-
dimension door to
yes.
the town hall. They're not in there anymore. They
Wait,
would not
wait.
have
Actually, I'm
anywhere
not sure
to
how
go.
many I can take with me.
Just
One
other.
other.
I think it's just one other. So we have a very fast carpet. Let's hop on it and get.
Yeah.
This really is like a bum.
Bo, what do you got up your sleeve?
I've got 2 hobgoblins that I'm ushering onto the carpet. Let's go. Okay.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Hands and
I'm gonna
arms.
use my little
The
bark skin
carpet.
ring real quick, just in case I need to wild shape into something.
Oh, I'm casting mage armor.
Delirious.
That's-
I would
Apparently that's a
say
thing.
Cloak us in night and then fly us out.
Yes.
Okay.
I got something for those hobgoblins if they fly closer.
All right. Where'd my spells go? Pass without a trace to make us all boost our stealth checks. That's what you're talking about?
I need to check one thing.
We can't be
You are lucky.
tracked without magic
Yes.
under that.
What I had to check is the range of counterspell. You are
Oh,
out
yes,
of
it is.
range,
It's
so you
very
are now
short.
passing
Ha
without
ha!
a trace.
We need to go.
Tamor,
Yes.
friend of thieves, hide our passage from unfriendly eyes.
Shadows and mist, you sort of disappear. And I actually think as the Velkyn Weave begins to pass without a trace and is eluding the forces of Wormlord Sarvith within the bellies of the swamp and the ruins of rest, I think that's a good place to break for the night, because I think you're going to have a chance, because you're up on the bell tower, to view the layout of the land and plan for the climactic showdown in the ruins at the start, as Regiax the Black Dragon, Wormlord Sarvith, and potentially an army of Razor Fiend demon spawn of
God.
Tiamat hunt you down.
We're gonna die.
Let's go.
Never say
around.
die.
Let's see
Goonies
how
never
Die, die, die!
Goonies never say die.
I'm not a goonie.
This reminds me of an early mission. We will get to play. What's the word? Anybody ever watch Rambo?
Yes.
They think they're hunting us. Unfortunate for them.
I'm not sure they're wrong, Renyon.
I think the Velkyn Weave is very tough. I think, like
Got one-shotted by a dragon.
This goblin. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's a goblin. That's gonna be lame." Then I look at all of his abilities. I'm like, he is dang hard to catch, and he has a bunch of slick moves. But the Velkyn Weave has been the slickest party in the land, or at least the Nimbus has. I don't know who to believe, which stories.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty easy to be stealthy when you're non-corporeal.
It's obfuscated.
So it's good to be back for the first time in a little over
Yeah.
a month. We're healthy. We're getting our games in. We're shaking off the ring rust. Getting those dice rolls, hitting crits on clutch plays, doing max damage with the
Failing
blight
saving
spells,
throws.
failing saving throws.
It does.
Like a boss.
It happens.
So why don't you give us our goals update, Tom?
Yes, sir. So your subs show your support and that you want the Games Tavern to upgrade the productions and make better shows for you. So don't forget to cheer on your favorite character when they do something awesome, like take 56 points of acid damage and then get right back up. Your bits cheers mean you love what the characters are doing, and we love you, friends, for that support. So we love you all for your new subs and bits this week. Thank you. Michelle.
The Games Tavern Patreon is live and a great way to support the show. Every Friday, patrons get to see special content like DM notes, maps, and behind-the-scenes videos. The latest update includes a new behind-the-scenes editing video, GM notes from Grant Ellis, and a new battle map for use in your games. Some recognition for our regular Patreon supporters, Harper Jean, Mad333, and Veritas23. Thank you for your support and patronage. Just check in the Patreon link in chat and in the Patreon panel in our Twitch channel, or go to patreon.com/thegamestavern, all one word, and get your hands on this amazing content.
And don't forget to check out our YouTube page, the Games Tavern YouTube page channel. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, subscribe for all the videos so you're notified when each one is uploaded, so that you can, in case you miss out or you have to skip a week, you're able to catch up or go back and relive some of our greatest moments.
Today was a great day, folks.
Yes,
Glad to be
thanks for
back with
watching.
you.
First
See you all
back
next
after a
week.
month. Let's tune in
Oh,
next week.
All right.
Stay
Bye.
tuned
Bye.
for
Take
the
care,
Velkyn
folks.
Weave or the Velkyn Dead.
Bum,
Dun, dun,
bum,
dun, 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 dun.
bum.
That's the one that's more likely.